Hello everyone, in this video we will be dividing fractions, and I just want to let you know that if you're only interested in just solving the questions, as in solving dividing fractions, then I've left some timestamps in the description below, so you can go ahead and look at the timestamps and go to that particular section. However, if you are interested in finding out why we divide fractions in the way we do, okay, and just going in depth and understanding the common underlying principle, then you can by all means again go to the timestamps and have a look at that. It'll be right at the start of the video. Right, having said that, let's begin. So I'm going to start with 2 divided by a half. Now, in order to understand the concept in depth and know why things are the way they are, I'm just going to have to draw some diagrams so we can sort of simplify things and see it visually. So what this question is telling us is it's asking us to work out is how many halves go into 2, right? So in other words, if I draw the diagrams here, I've got 2 holes, so you can say 2 pizzas, for example, right? How many halves are in these 2 pizzas? So you've got, that's a half, 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. So I've got 4 halves. So I can say that this makes, whoops, that's a rather badly drawn equal sign. That makes 4. But now how do we go from the left-hand side, from the question, to the answer? What's happening? Now, to make things easier, I'm just going to draw a line here and have 1. Now, I haven't changed the question here. This 2 over 1 is exactly the same as 2, because it's saying 2 divided by 1, which is 2. Okay, how many 1s go into 2? 2. So I haven't changed the value of it. Okay, similarly on the right hand side, I'm going to draw 1 here. So I've changed it into more like a fraction, but it still is the same. 4 divided by 1 is 4. So what's happening? How are we going from the left hand side to the right hand side? Now you might be thinking that there's something to do with multiplying these two here, the 2's. 2 times 2 is 4. But I am going to come back to this in just a minute. Let's have a look at another example here. Before we come back and actually find, spot the pattern. So let's have a look at, this time we're going to do 2 divided by a quarter. Okay? So again, what this question is telling us is, how many quarters go into 2? So if I was to draw my 2 pizzas here and say, well, how many quarters? So split it up into quarters. Right, well, I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So that makes 8. But then the question remains, how are we going from the left-hand side to the right-hand side? What's happening? So let's just draw, again, convert them to like fractions. They're exactly the same, but just, written as a fraction. So what's the pattern? Now you've probably thought that, yes, it's something to do with multiplying the 2 and the 4. So if you were to do 2 times 4, if you multiply 2 times 4, that makes 8. Similarly, if you do 2 times 2, then that makes 4. So what has actually happened? So, mathematicians, when they first looked at this problem, they thought, oh, well, I think we've multiplied the numerator by the denominator, okay? But then they've also figured out that, oh, do you know what? I've actually done 1, so at the top here, I've done 1 times 1, and that gives me this one here. Okay, so it's like the other way around. So similarly, in the second example here, 1 times 1 is this one here, right? And obviously 2 times 4 is 8, it's giving us that. So it's like things have switched around, right? So they've come up with a rule. Mathematicians said, right, well, we're going to have to come up with a rule. And so they came up with this fantastic rule called KFC, right? KFC. And what that stands for is keep the first as in keep the first fraction, flip the second, as in flip the second fraction, and then lastly change the sign. And you're going to see in a minute, whoops, you're going to see in a minute what I mean by change the sign, because we're going to change it to times. Okay, so I want you to do an example here on the right hand side. So say we had 2/3 divided by a sixth. Right, keep the first, so I'm going to keep the first fraction, so I'm going to say okay, well that's 2/3. I'm going to be flipping the second fraction, so I'm going to flip it upside down, so that'll be 6/1. And then I'm going to be changing the sign to times, so you can even have, you know, sign, change that to times. So we have times here. Now if you don't know how to multiply fractions, there will be a notification in the top right corner of this video. You can click on it and it will take you to a video that tells you how to multiply. But the shorter way is just multiply across. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then 3 times 1 is 3, and that's it. Okay, now can I figure out what 12 divided by 3 is? What's 12 divided by 3? It's 4, right? 3 goes into 12 4 times. Now let's have a look at some more examples. So I've just copied and pasted the KFC here on the right hand side, and let's have a look at dividing 4/5 divided by, say, 2/9. Again, you can have an equal sign and say, right, we're going to be keeping the first fraction, so that'll be 4/5. Flip the second fraction, so that'll be 9/2, and then change the sign and then work it out. So 4 times 9 is 36, 5 times 2 is 10. Now again, can I simplify this? Can I work it out? Well, how many 10s go into 36? How many 10s go into 36? So that'll be 3 times, because 3 times 10 is 30. Remainder 6/10. It's always on top of the denominator, right? You can leave it as that. I mean, to be fair with you, you can leave it here, unless the question explicitly tells you to simplify it, then you can leave it there and you'll get your full marks, okay? But in this case, we've gone and we've simplified it. I can go even further and simplify that, because I know 6/10 can be simplified, you know, by dividing by 2. So that would be 3/5, right? By, you know, dividing by 2, top and bottom by 2. And so we end up with 3 3/5. Okay, so I know that the answer to this question here is 3 3/5. Okay, and that's it. Now let's have a look at just one last one, which is the algebraic one. So say we had b/3 divided by 4c/b. Right, let's take this to this side here. So keep the first, so b/3, flip the second, that would be b/4c, and then multiply. So b times b is b squared, 3 times 4c, 3 times 4 is 12, so that would be just 12c. Can I simplify it? I can't really. I've got b and a c, I've got a number, there's nothing I can do, so leave it at there. Right, this is it for this video, guys. I'd really appreciate some feedback. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want me to do some problem solving questions with you, leave me some comments, let me know what you want to be covered, and I'll try and make a video. Right, thank you for watching, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next video.